DreamKingz Films. We're here with Coach Zach Harbison of the Englewood Rams. Hey, Coach, it's a new era over here at Englewood. Real quick, Coach, just talk about that being on the field for the first time with your bunch and what you liked about them.
Yeah, it's been great just getting back with the kids. We've done enough on Zoom, as much as we could on Zoom, but obviously you can't work them out. You can give them stuff to do, but seeing them, seeing their faces, letting them run around and get some work in and learn what we can legally teach them right now and touch the field has been great. It's awesome seeing faces and getting back to work with my guys.
Yes, sir, Coach. Let's back up for a second. Just take us back to when you got the job and just give us your thoughts on everything when you got the job.
Yeah, it was a whirlwind process. It all happened in a few days. I spoke to JD, who's at Creekside now. He kind of gave me a heads up that he was stepping down, and I always wanted to get a job here and work here, but I didn't expect to get bumped up right to the head job. But I talked to a few guys, talked to JD. He gave me some good advice, and talked to Pate when she offered it to me, and spoke to my wife. My family was really supportive, and they offered it to me, and I had to take some time to think about it, but I think it's a good choice. I'm excited to be here. I love these kids. I love the community, which is a huge thing, especially in this area. I'm excited to rock and roll, but I'd be lying if I didn't say I was nervous.
Coach, staying with the community, you was a head coach at Southside Middle School, so you've been in this community for a while. Coach, just real quick, talk about that and how important that is to stay with that relationship with this community.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing if you get to know me is I love making movement in this area with these kids. These kids need that. They need leaders in their life, and they need people to give them an example. And I think it started with my staff that we got here. They're great guys, and giving back to this group of kids meant the world to me. I probably wouldn't have left Southside if it wasn't for this school because I care about those kids so much, and being able to be at a bigger stage in their life when they're getting ready for college and getting them into school, it's important for me to kind of be there for them so I can guide them and just be along for the ride with those guys.
Yes, sir, Coach. Do you think the transition was easy being that you came from Southside Middle School?
As far as getting to know the kids, I missed that spring, not being here in the spring with the virus and that, but yes, it gave me, I guess, an advantage from coaches that are coming in without that experience. I know probably 40 to 50% of the kids personally before I even stepped foot on campus. So that was one advantage to being from the feeder school, I guess you could say. It's helped me a lot as far as getting to know them and working with them and contacting them. You know how high schoolers are. The contact can be difficult, but I knew most of them, so that helped.
You spoke on it a little bit, Coach, but how was you able to adjust from losing the spring?
Zoom, Teams. We use Teams a lot. That system that Duval had in place helped us. We didn't have to have kids down. They had laptops, so that helped us a ton. At our school, it doesn't necessarily have all the amenities others do, so we did have to go out of our way and to make it easier for us, but we made it work. Again, I'm sick of the computers and stuff like that, but the kids did the best they could, so that's how we kind of made up for the spring. It actually gave us time to develop a plan, what we're going to do when we do get back. We can put together our schemes as far as, and even rituals and routines. Everything we have is mapped out because we had those extra 3 or 4 months to get it on paper before we put it into real context.
Yes, sir, Coach. Can you give me a little bit on your coaching staff? Do y'all got a lot of turnover from Coach JD's staff, or you bringing in new guys?
Yeah, it's about 50-50 split. KJ, Coach England, and Coach Mixon are back, and they're great guys. I talked to JD the day I told him I was taking it, and he told me, he walked me through his staff. And Andre, Coach Diggin is back as well. 4 guys that are on staff that, the players love, and they care about the players. That was important to me. They know football. Their football knowledge is top of the line, but they also care about the kids, and that's what you need at a school like this. These guys need to fight for their kids, and they've done it for years here. KJ and Randy and Andre went here. They obviously love the community. They love the school, and we're going to do what we can to build it back. And then we brought in 2 more guys. Chris Corley came in, and Coach Burns came in from other schools. Coach Burns from AC to help us out this year, and he was one of the most important hires for me because he's had head coaching experience. He's been all around. And he's been a mentor to me, so it's been awesome having him on staff.
Yes, sir, Coach. Did you find it difficult coming from middle school to build that relationship with college recruiters, or did your staff kind of already have a plan in place for y'all guys?
Yeah, so KJ, Kevin Johnson's done a great job kind of transitioning. He's taking over as the recruiting guy, but he's given me some pointers and some of his connections to reach out. I'm not afraid to cold call guys. I have some connections from being up north with schools I've contacted and sent kids to before, but I'll be lying again if I told you it wasn't new to me. But I'm working at it, and we're pumping our kids out more than I think they have before, and that's a big thing because we have athletes here. We have guys just like any other school. It's just getting them out there and being able to take that extra step to put their name out there.
Yes, sir, Coach. Have you got a chance to talk to your kids about what's going on in the world socially?
Yeah, so we've talked individually with the guys. We haven't approached it as a team yet, which we're working on developing a strong plan. But it's being in that situation, which we have a lot of our team is African American. They're dealing with this stuff. It's important to me. It's important to our entire staff, and it's important to our community that we have to talk about it. What's going on and what's been going on for, in my opinion, hundreds of years isn't fair. there needs to be some equity in this situation. And these conversations are happening personally with the kids that are dealing with it, and how we can kind of guide them through it. Because me as a staff, as an adult, and KJ, Coach Mixon, we've talked about it together, how we can kind of give them a plan on how to deal with it. Because that's what it needs to be, a plan. It can't just be words. We're trying to have a succinct plan for these kids to be successful and to know how to deal with the hatred because they're going to get the nonsense. I can't tell them that, hey, it's going to be okay. It's not always going to be okay, but we got to learn how to deal with it and how we can cope and make it a better place for those kids, because it hurts to see it.
Yes, sir, Coach. Let's talk about some of your rising seniors. Who you like out there, Coach?
Yeah, well, Raul PDL, Ponce de Leon, he really stood out on film. One, he's a great kid. He busts his butt, but he's a phenomenal athlete. He's probably our guy. But right behind him, we have two linemen, Isaiah Muska and Kalush Henley, that are big, strong kids that have been working, really good athletes that we're trying to kind of pump out because they can make some waves at the next level. Right behind them, too, we have Daryl Sam. He lost about 60 pounds in wrestling, but he actually makes it more versatile for us. He's another great kid. I'm missing one more senior. We have two more seniors. Trent Tyson's another good player for us. He's going to play corner for us. Good athlete, on the smaller size, but he'll fight. And below that, we actually have some young guys that we're really excited for that have been in your Duval top 100 stuff that we're really excited to see these next couple of years.
Yes, sir, Coach. Ponce's a real deal playmaker,
Yeah.
very underrated, flying under the radar. Not a lot of people know about him, Coach. Real quick, can you talk about his skill set and what makes him such a great player?
The biggest thing is his versatility and his willingness to play wherever you put him. First day I called him, I talked to JD, got his number, and I called him and asked him what he could do, and he told me he's willing to do anything. That was exciting to hear as a coach. We're going to move him around. We're going to play him everywhere, and he's going to play everywhere for us. His aggressiveness sets him apart. He's fast. He's extremely straight line fast. And his size, he's almost a legit 6'2" at 170. He can play, and I think it's a crime. Like you said, he's flying under the radar, and hopefully we'll showcase him enough this year where he's no longer kind of floating beneath radar, but he's well above it.
Yes, sir, Coach. Talk about your offensive line. What excites you about that group?
They're big. We got 3 or 4 big bodies that are really athletic. Isaiah's about 6'2", 6'2.5", and he's dunking a basketball. That's awesome to see. Kalush, again, 6'2", almost 310 pounds, big kid with phenomenal feet. It's just getting them back in football shape. You can see when you're out there, they've been off for 4 months. So we're trying to slowly bring them back. Everything we want to do is going to start and stop with those guys. We actually had a long meeting with our older guys this morning talking about how a lot's on their shoulders, but if they're willing to work and trust the staff and trust what the work they will put in and what they have put in already, that they can be successful. But again, everything we do is going to be on them.
Yes, sir, Coach. Talk about your running backs. Who's going to be toting that rock for the Rams?
So we're going to be young back there. Sajari Love is one guy that popped on film. I actually had him at Southside down the road. He's a rising sophomore, but he's a really, really strong on the lower body, shifty kid. Big thing with him is getting him to trust his guys up front. He's athletic enough to make plays out of system, but when he's following his guys, he's going to be special for us.
Yes, sir, Coach. Kind of like the same question with your quarterbacks. Give me something on that battle y'all got over here on Barnes Road.
So we have Terrence coming back. Terrence Ford played some varsity last year. Cornell played a little bit of varsity last year. They're both really, really athletic kids. Terrence has more arm talent, and he's been in the system, and he's been quarterback longer. But Cornell has some traits too that we're looking to utilize on the field, whether it be at quarterback, at corner. But those two both give us a chance to win right there.
Yes, sir, Coach. Going back to Terrence, he made our top 100 list from a couple years ago. Just talk about his skill set and what makes him such a good player. And do you think Terrence could take that next step over here at Englewood?
I do. The first thing I watched his film, I talked to my staff. I was like, he has all the arm talent in the world. He knows the game of football. If you see him on the whiteboard, it's incredible. He knows where guys are supposed to be, where they're not going to be. The big thing with him is his confidence moving forward. He was 14 last year playing against some grown men, and he lost some confidence. So a big thing this year is us, me and KJ have worked together, just getting him easy throws, because you saw him play. He can make the throws. He's a really talented kid, so I believe he's going to be very successful for us.
Yes, sir, Coach. We spoke on Ponce, but give me some more guys that may be helping Ponce light up that scoreboard.
Yeah, so we have 3 guys in mind. Rashad Clark, he's a rising junior. He's probably our most shifty player, and maybe even faster than PDL. Just getting him to learn the system and trust the staff, we could really utilize him this year. He's going to play both ways for us probably. He's hard guy to keep off the field. I was telling him today he better be ready to play 100 plays a game. And then behind them in our sophomore class, we have Karan Hayward and Imari Hampton, who I believe, mark their names down, they're going to be special. Karan makes everything look almost too easy, like he's even loafing, it looks like at times, but he's just so smooth. And then Imari's a kid who busts his butt. He would have been out here today at an orthodontist appointment, but Imari Hampton both those two are going to be special for us.
Yes, sir, Coach. Staying with Imari, you've been coaching him for a while now. Yeah. Another top 100 kid, Coach. Just talk about his skill set. He's poised to shock the city coming up here, Coach.
He's small, or not small. He's thin, and he's really wiry, and He's smooth. That's what I was looking for. He doesn't look like he's moving that quick, but he has such long strides, and he'll compete for the ball, and he's confident. That's what I love about him. Probably his best skill set is that he thinks you line up next to him, he's going to beat you. And we need dogs like that in Englewood. That's been the biggest separator here is guys, they have the skill set, they haven't had the confidence. And I don't have to instill that in Imari, but his attitude's kind of rubbing off on the receivers. You can even see when Karan's out here with him, they're both competing against each other because they both want the ball. And they want it. They cherish the moment to get open. They always think they're open. So that we need that on a team. I don't want guys that are scared when they're lining up next to some kid going to Georgia Tech or something like that. And Imari has it. He'll fight anybody out there for the ball.
Yes, sir, Coach. Talk about that defense. Give me something on those big guys in the trenches.
Yeah, it's going to be, unfortunately, the big thing here is we're lacking depth right now. It's going to be Isaiah out there. Melvin Wiggins is one. He's going to play 3 tech for us. Again, I had him at Southside. Really, really strong kid and a hyper athlete for his size. He's going to be really big up front. Daryl Sam's going to be playing a 5 tech for us. He's another kid. He's a wrestler, so he knows how to fight in the trenches, who's going to be a problem for us. And then there's 2 kids at the second level. Our linebackers, I really, really like Duron Dukes. He's a big kid. He grew this summer. He's got to be 6'3", 6'4" now. Been put some good muscle on. He's going to be a problem in the middle. And then Brian Hernandez. He's our best tackler last year and also our hardest hitter. He's not the biggest guy. He's not going to wow anyone getting off the bus, but he's our smartest defender, and he'll make any play you ask him to make.
Yes, sir, Coach. Staying with Brian, can you just talk about what he's been doing amid this COVID pandemic to stay on top of his craft? He's a really good player as well.
He really is, and he's been my go-to. I didn't know anything about him. I turned the film on. I called Coach Smitty, actually our baseball coach here. I said, "Who's number 7?" He gave me Brian's contact info, and he's been my go-to as far as getting people out here. He's out of town now, but getting people out here, learning the system with Coach Mixon running the defense now. He's been that leader without me asking him. He was like, "Coach, what do you need? How can I help you?" And that's been, helped my transition. He's been in his own personal weight room getting some stuff down. Any workouts I posted online, he's doing them, leading groups on the field. He's been great.
Yes, sir, Coach. Who may lead the Englewood Rams in sacks this year?
Maybe Daryl Sam coming off the edge, or even Melvin at that 3 tech. They're both really, really good athletes and both have that wrestling background. So I'm looking for them to kind of lead us up front.
Yes, sir, Coach. Give me something on your back end. Who's going to be shutting down these receivers here in the county?
Yeah, PDL I think is, again, underrated corner too. He's smooth, he's long. He, a lot of the times, will put him on other team's best guy and say, "Hey, if you think he's better than PDL, then go after him." And hopefully that'll shut him down. And then again, we're going to have, not Terrence, we'll have Rashad out there when we can. Trent Tyson's another corner. And we have 2 kids coming in. One kid was at Baldwin last year, Nakia. He's looked really, really good this summer so far. It's been a short couple days, but he moves well, and we're looking to use him in the back end.
Yes, sir, Coach. Give me a young guy that may be poised to step up and make a name for himself on this Rams defense this season.
Oh, Duron. He was a sophomore last year, but Dukes is going to be kind of, I think, put his name farther out there this year into the as far as Duval County.
Yes, sir, Coach. Going back to PDL, what do you think causing him to fly under the radar? Such a good kid can have an impact on both sides, offense, defense, as well as special teams, can light it up from anywhere. What do you think is causing PDL to fly under the radar, Coach?
I think the biggest thing last year is we had Jacquez was here, and if you turn on any of Englewood's game and you look, holy cow, look at number 2. You're looking for 2 the whole time, and so PDL didn't necessarily have the opportunity to show, like, I can do what number 2 does in a different way. He's not going to be as shifty, but he has the straight line speed, and he's a bigger body. And I think it was just there wasn't enough. The football wasn't moved got to his hands enough. So we'll do our best to kind of showcase him and Rashad Clark on offense and get it. That's our goal. Get it to our best guys. Get it to our shifty guys. If they get 15, 20 touches a game, then we're doing our job. Now, if we leave a game and come up to me, please. If PDL has 3 touches and Clark has 2, ask me what I was doing.
Yes, sir, Coach. Can you talk about your schedule, and also was it difficult to put it together?
Everything stayed the same. It's from JD when he scheduled it 2 years ago, so I didn't have to make any moves there. We do have some tough games. I think 7 of our 10 opponents were playoff teams last year, so we know coming in we're going to be young and we're going to face good teams. But that's how you get better. You got to fight against teams that are good. It doesn't help you to go in there and beat a team that's down, that's having a bad year. It doesn't help you. Yes, it builds confidence, but I need our kids to know that we can compete and fight with these teams that are winning 8, 9 games a year.
Yes, sir, Coach. How important it was to have such a tough schedule coming in on your first year?
I think it helps build a program. It's easy to come in and get confidence from kids when you're beating some bad teams, but it's fun to want to work. You want to compete against Ponte Vedra. You want to play these St. Augustines, these St. Johns County teams. That's our district. It doesn't help us playing Powder Puffs. We've got to play good teams that have a chance to compete with those teams in our district.
Yes, sir, Coach. Taking it off the field for a minute, we all know you've been with these kids, like we said, for a while now, being the head coach over there at Southside. But real quick, Coach, can you talk about what you're instilling in these guys off the field? We know what you're teaching them on the field, Coach.
Yeah, and that's why I have the staff I have out there. We care about these kids just or more off the field. We do a lot for them. It's just teaching them kind of how to deal with life situations. A lot of our kids particularly had to grow up at a really young age. So we're just kind of like a light for them to show them not necessarily right and wrong, but how to make decisions. Give them the tools to be good young men someday.
Can you just talk about how important it is for you guys to have such high character and represent Englewood in the highest capacity at all times?
Yeah, and with athletes, we kind of have a target on our back in the classroom and in certain communities, so it's important for our guys to lead the school. We've struggled, and I've met with the principal about it and the AD. We've struggled with school pride here, and I think it starts with our biggest program is making it cool. I use that word, making it cool to play football again. And if our kids are acting like clowns in the classroom, it's not going to be cool to play. So they need to know that they're leaders, whether they want to be or not. They're leaders on campus and in their community. And if we can instill that into them, we can build this program, get our numbers up, and with bigger numbers, and we get more guys into the program. Obviously, the wins can go up. And then they can be better guys when they leave our school.
Yes, sir, Coach. Before we get out of here, we all know the class of 2024. That class right there is going to be real special. You coached a ton of that talent.
Yeah.
But real quick, Coach, to the kids that may be finding it hard to get acclimated into the high school system, can you just give them a message and a word of encouragement? And also, can you tell them how important their 9th grade year is in the scheme of this whole process, Coach?
Yeah, I think 9th grade is the most important. One, academically, you're in a lot of your core classes right away. It's important. I hate telling kids, hey, that school is not an option because your grades aren't there. Get your grades right, 9th graders, and then trust it. If you put in the work, you're going to be able to play, and you'll be an integral part of the team. You might not be out there for 90% of the snaps, but you're making teammates better, and that's what a team sport like football is all supposed to be. Work hard, bust your butt, help your teammates win.
Yes, sir, Coach. Thanks for talking with me. Good luck to y'all future over here in Englewood.
Appreciate it. Go Rams.
Appreciate you, Coach.